Good morning. Welcome to Matt Davis Reads the Newspaper. Good morning. It's Monday. My child is here. And good morning. Good morning, he says. There are two stories on the front page today. Both have big font, so it's tricky to choose between them. I'm going to go with this one just because it's on the left, and that's how we read. So I think it's the most prominent position. I will say that this one is particularly depressing, though. This is about how the Trump administration has gotten rid of almost all our refugee programs in the US. So let's say you had the misfortune to be born in a war zone and you really needed to grow up somewhere safe. Tough if you were hoping to come to the US for resettlement. There's been a rich history of the US helping people resettle in this country for many years, even since the Reagan administration started the international refugee resettlement programs in the 80s. Hundreds of thousands of great people have come to this country and made businesses and helped the economy. Tough if you're one of those people now, because the administration has really pared back refugee programs. Something they are doing, though, is starting a whole new refugee program for white South Africans. And they're propping up people in South Africa who are claiming that white South Africans are the real victims of post-apartheid South Africa. That is racist and so problematic. I can't even get into it. For us to be getting involved in those kind of politics after we told the Germans they should vote Nazi in the recent German elections just expresses clearly this country's white supremacist Nazi government aims right now. None of that's overblown. It's just Trump's a Nazi and he supports Nazis and he loves racist white supremacist South Africans. And so he has devoted time and energy to spinning up a, quote, refugee program for those people. It is disgusting. Anyway, that's not the story we're going to be reading. The story we're going to be reading today is only about 80% as disgusting as that. And it's all about how there was an earthquake in Myanmar last week and how the US has not really sent anything to help in the wake of this horrific earthquake, which has killed people. Trump last week did say that he was going to send help. But the trouble is, to do that, you need a functioning US aid department. And as you may be aware, we have been focusing on other things in this country and firing almost everybody who works for US aid, as well as sending contractors pink slips. So people who would be on the ground in Myanmar now helping earthquake victims are out of work in the US. Just as the economy takes a dive and we're concerned about jobs for people, they've gone in and looked at who did go. So who did go to the earthquake? Well, there's Chinese crews on the ground, Russia, India, and they've quoted people saying why that matters. So it's important that the US is seen to help in international moments of concern like this. It bolsters our standing abroad and it makes people think that we're good allies. That matters internationally because if you don't do that, you find yourself without allies when you need them. Now, we do have a huge country and a huge military, but we cannot stand alone. Meanwhile, the reporters at the Times went and found people who were laid off days before the earthquake. That's right. They found meow. That's right. They found a bunch of people who, were theoretically there at the USA to try and deploy help, who literally, as they were doing so, got told they'd been fired. You can't make that up. It is a sort of reflection of the dysfunction of our foreign policy. That is, I find it mind-blowing. I honestly think I'll probably look back on this morning's newspaper in future years and be like, that was the day I really realized how broken things were. And there have been days before this where I have been shocked and appalled by the administration's behavior. But this one, particularly when you've got this kind of racist resettlement program for white South Africans on the one hand, and you're firing people who help with earthquakes in Asia on the other, you deserve what you're getting. So, yeah, thanks for letting me read the newspaper so that you don't have to. Boy wants a gorilla. I better help him. Have a good day, and I'll see you soon. I'll help you with that, Gorilla Freddy.